What's going on, everybody? JT here with another fantastic episode. We have the founders over at Cometa Hub. Cometa is an easy-to-use liquidity aggregator and yield farms built on Algorand. They're going to reach mainnet on August 5th, so I'm super excited to have this conversation. So without further ado, let's bring on, we've got Valerie, we've got Daria over at Meta. How you doing?
Hi, guys.
Very good.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
Bugs, so.
Yeah, it's an interesting time. I mean, you guys are, what, maybe 6 to 7 days away from mainnet launch? Is that correct? Something around that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's just jump right into it then. What exactly is Cometa, and what are your roles inside Cometa?
So the Cometa is liquidity aggregator. The first stage is yield farming. We focus a lot for the user experience to make Cometa easy to use yield farming. And from the project side, right, to add farm in one click, and from the user side to farm and get rewards in one click. In future, we build the liquidity as a service, a new way of attracting liquidity. I think we'll also talk about it today, right? Yeah, so there's Cometa. Let's see how it works. Let's try it. We really appreciate any feedback from users and projects. So yeah, the new way of liquidity.
Perfect.
And our roles, formerly I'm CTO and Daria is CEO and Nikita is CMO, but actually it's quite mixed. So we all write code and do different tasks.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, I'd imagine, especially with a week to go to mainnet. I mean, I bet it's all hands on deck at this point. So what's Cometa different than other DeFi apps that are currently out on Algorand?
So our idea was very simple, just to build great yield farming on Algorand, because when we started, we found some improvements that we want to add to the service. And we have now 3 main features. The first one is up. So if you want to participate in farming, you just make a few click and already stake your LP token to the farm, right? We gather all transaction, the swap transaction and providing liquidity transaction. We aggregate it for you, for users, and make it really easy to farm and to get rewards. The second is compound. So we want to build the auto compounding, right? But now we have a compound button where we can claim rewards for you, swap it to tokens, and stake it to the farm. So with compound, APR move to API, and it's much higher than just provide liquidity once, right? And also it's good for projects because all rewards come directly to liquidity. So it's win-win strategy. And the last thing, so we really care about long-term liquidity. We want to make providing liquidity really sustainable. And so the third feature is lock pools, when users can get rewards only after some period of time, right? Yeah. So that's how we try, to fix a little bit this farmers who just provide liquidity for a short period of time, get all 3 rewards, and that's all. So we want to help projects in a sustainable way. Yeah. So
absolutely not, and that's perfect too, because there is a issue where there's sort of a mercenary liquidity farmers that just go to whichever pool's the highest. They're maybe there for 3 days, and then all of a sudden, they're gone. You for a successful project, you want that liquidity to be long term and deep as well. So fantastic to hear. So Cometa was selected as one of the 200 companies to take part in the Algorand Miami Accelerator. Can you both speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, we are really excited to be part of our Algorand accelerator because, we are on Algorand, I would say half a year, more than half a year, almost maybe 1 year. So, and now we are really deep with community and with mentors. Yeah, and on Algorand, we focus more on our next project, liquidity as a service. I would say that, like, how can I describe the liquidity as a service is yield farming killer. So we just remove all the problems from yield farming. Oh yeah, perfect, thank you. And try to build something new. For users, we have impermanent loss protection and higher API. And for project, we have a cheap and long-term liquidity. Sounds like magic. And if If you're interested in that, right? So let's go to our website, let's go to our documents, and we tell you how we build this magic, how we make it real.
Fantastic. I do actually want to ask a little bit about the impermanent loss protection, because that is something that, of course, interests me and should interest a lot of people. Could you speak a little bit more to how that works?
Yeah, Valeria.
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's very simple. So there are two sides. One side is liquidity seeker. It's the project who seeks liquidity and who is ready to pay a bit for it. And in yield farming, projects provide rewards upfront, and in LAS it's a bit different. And the other side is liquidity provider who are interested in just receiving some yield, and they receive double trading fees. And last pools run for a certain period of time, usually it's something about 2 months. And at the end of the period, there might be impairment loss, which happens when the liquidity seeker's token goes down compared to liquidity provider's token. And in this case, we analyzed a few solutions on many different chains, and we've invented our own. And it's super simple. Basically, liquidity seeker pays liquidity provider for impairment loss, and of course, they may refuse to do it for some reason. Either they are insolvent or they just don't want for some reason. But in this case, their tokens act as collateral, basically, and we just sell tokens on an auction similar to Maker's collateral auctions until impairment loss is paid. And usually, sometimes when, in some extreme cases, when liquidity seeker token goes down more than roughly 5 times, so more than 80% down, which is quite early case, and we analyzed historic data and found that it's like 0.5% of cases or so. So yeah, basically that's how it works. We have an article on Medium which explains in more detail. If
Yeah, in the
someone is
white paper
interested.
too, there's a section called impermanent loss protection for anyone that wants to read more about it. It's very, very, very easy to find. We have one more member of the team rolling in right now. We've got Nikita coming through. How you doing, Nikita? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, hello. Sorry for being late. Yeah, just
No worries. I'll run you up to speed. We basically went over what Cometa is, the Algorand Miami accelerator. We were just talking about impermanent loss features. From there, I wanted to take it to exactly what is the meta token and what would the functions be, and how can people obtain it? And that's an open question for anybody, but I might as well see if you could answer that just to get some of your voice into the show.
currently Meta token airdrop to our holders of MetaPunks. So that's how we connect NFTs with like our tokens. So we incentivize them for supporting our community, and that's the only way to get tokens now. We will get maybe a sale, but later this year after we already release last or close to this part, but not now when our token is just yield farming token.
Is that essentially the basis of the token? Is primarily a yield farming token, a way to gain access to all the other projects that might be providing yield on the platform?
No, I would say that we
Um,
have a separate farm and they have their own token. So each projects can make as a rewire token whatever token they want to. We have our own farm with Meta token, but it's separate because now our token is just a little bit volatile, right? And we don't have a lot of liquidity, and we feel that maybe with this token it can affect the project, right? The project cost. So we don't want to share the risks. So that's why we want to make a simple yield farming without this like
and
cake model.
And about how to use it, I would say there are 3 stages. The first one, we will have, of course, a yield farm with Meta token, and it will have quite a lot of incentives from Algorand Foundation, I think. And this will be the first stage. And the main one, which is the whole idea of the token, and it's super easy. Basically, it's revenue sharing. We are not sure which model will we use? Probably it will be buybacks from the open market, something like Yearn Finance does. And it's quite easy. So in many cases, people try to invent some like imaginary utility.
Yep.
So you can exchange your tokens or like do some staking or a lot of things, but in like normal business, it always boils down to some way of profit sharing, and it will be the main thing. And in the future, we are thinking about implementing fiat economics and other mechanism, but I'm not going to speculate too much because it's the long way. But as I said, the main thing is some way of revenue sharing, and it's super easy.
Perfect.
There are still some fun activities, for holders, maybe small games or lottery, maybe, but it's just, to fun, to have some
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
We play poker for our tokens with our
Oh,
holders each
What kind-
Sunday.
What kind of poker?
Like our market guy, like our best guy Florian, he hosts like each Sunday on I think 11 p.m. You can join. It's like he usually gathers different projects from the Algorand. So we had like Tiger
Well,
Chi, and we
I
will
actually
have
think I might have been invited to the last one, and I wasn't able to make it. Sometimes I pass out by 11 by around
This-
that time, but
this Sunday we will have a poker night with Folks Finance, so you can be invited. Like all their
Fantastic.
community will go to, and yeah, we play for our token. That's also fun.
yeah, definitely join. Definitely join. Let's see. So I'm looking at the test net right now, and there's a lot of cool features. You've got the swap function, the zap function, which I really like. I really appreciate these zap functions. You've got farm, staking, and MetaDAO. We haven't spoken about the MetaDAO too much yet. Could we move towards that topic and discuss what is the MetaDAO, how will it function, and what benefits will it bring to users?
Yeah, so the MetaDAO is more about MetaPunks. MetaPunks, they have their own treasury and they have investment day. So each Friday probably they vote where they want to invest the treasury or NFTs or tokens. And MetaDAO, it's our portfolio. And to be honest, it's on mainnet. We have to check it because there's different tokens and different NFTs. On testnet, there's like a mock. So yeah, it's just representing of MetaPunk's investments. Yeah, we decided to leave it on the Cometa website.
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
actually really cool.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm looking at the farm, I'll pull it back up as well. The other cool thing that it seems like at least on the test net is the ability to add a farm. So I wouldn't need to a project wouldn't need to, it seems like wouldn't need to go through you to go through some invisible wall to actually start a farm, and actually looks like you can do that on your own. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So we got feedback from projects that they need a lot of time to launch the farm because of communication, right? To
Communication
So-
with the team can be long.
So we just decided to make it simple and just few clicks and just build a farm. Maybe for the start, we will go with project, to fix everything, to see that it's worked correctly. But yeah.
Yeah, and I believe it how things should be, because we have a decentralized protocol and it is completely permissionless. You can just publish a smart contract and we don't have any access, so why not to provide access for everybody to do
We
it?
will have, like section verified farms that we verify and like non-verified that were just created by users. So like to notify everybody that there is some risks, but
Of course.
yeah.
There's always going to be some risk in a decentralized and permissionless world, but I really do appreciate that for sure. So what else in terms of the roadmap can users expect to see on the Cometa platform sometime in the future? Maybe not on launch date on August 5th, but sometime down the line.
Also, based on the advice from Miami Accelerator, right? We thinking now about cross-chain or to build our project not only on Algorand. And we had a conversation with Bridges, and we really want to integrate Bridges to the Cometa. First to show users from Solana or different blockchains the power of Algorand, what profit they can get, how to see how fast transactions we have, right? And the vice versa. So
Yep.
we want to focus on cross-chain in the future, integrate Bridges, try to, to make the cross-chain future. But it's, I would say, yes, maybe next year, early next year.
Yeah, but as I know, our best developers already started to develop a prototype on like Viper or something.
Yeah.
So we are researching possibilities of developing on different languages, like
And
our
and currently you're
developers.
using Reachlang for Algorand, correct?
Yeah.
And how's that process going? I know there's a couple projects like Pact and what and so forth that are using Reachling, and I've had Chris on the show before. I've spoken to Reach, and it does seem like a game changer for the coding language space. So could you just speak a little bit to how Reach has benefited Cometa in building this application?
I think the main benefit of the Reach is that it's really, really easy to start. So especially for people who are maybe not software developers with like 10 years of experience, who are just wanted to start with the space, Reach makes it really easy to start and write your full smart contract, which actually does things and which actually secure, and you can run it on the network. So it's pretty cool. And for yield farming, for example, it was one advantage. It's much more expressive than PyTeal, which means that basically you just write 3, maybe 5 times less code than compared to PyTeal, and it's not only more convenient. It doesn't really matter if it's time-wise, if it's like 400 lines or like 1,000 or 2,000 lines, because you don't spend months writing it. But it's very, very good from security perspective, because when you have 5 times more code, it's much more complicated to reason about it and audit it maybe. And often it grows not clear. So you have 2 times more code, but it's not 2 times harder. It's like 5 times harder. So from this perspective, it's great, but it's still a bit early stage project. So it has some limitations on some advanced features. So we are not 100% sure if we will use it for our next iteration with liquidity as a service, but we'll see.
Yeah, because it has some limitations. That's why maybe PyTeal will be better, but we need to still research this question.
I want to circle back to the farming pools. Now, doing a little bit of research, I noticed that there will be a couple partners at the launch: the XGLI token, the Glitter Finance token, and as well as the Board token, I believe. Are there any other partner pools that will be available on launch day?
Oh, actually, we have almost 11 partners for the start, but we will probably not launch them all at the same day. So now we are setting up a schedule. So to do it like 2 3 projects per day, and probably, but you'll see a really good teams there. Like we also have AlgaMint, Vestige, Alga Gems, Ace Stats, Alga World, Kitsune Inu, oh, Zone token as well. So like we gathered all the great guys. Oh, we really love to connect to projects. Everybody are really open and really glad, and yeah, it's good to be
Awesome.
part of such community. Algorand community is really warm, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the best. It needs to grow a little bit. We're still smaller compared to some other chains, but in a way, it's kind of nice because it's like it's a nice close knit, like really great community. But to expand, we do need to grow that some. But that's what all these are for. Uh, I want to talk about security a little bit. How far down the line would a publicly available audit be for the platform?
For the yield farming, we are only doing internal audit, and we are going to publish the smart contract prior to launch, so everyone can take a look. And we believe that it's not a reckless decision, because the smart contract is really simple, and we had it ready about 2 months ago, I think, and we've done a lot of testing. And it's not something like super new, not some advanced algorithm which we created, but it is based on synthetic staking contract, which was the base for, I think, more or less all ETH farmings on Ethereum and BSC and was used by tons of projects. For liquidity as a service, which will be much more novel and much more complicated, we are in contact with a few auditors, and definitely for these projects, we will have an audit before the launch.
We really want to aggregate a lot of liquidity. That's why if we wanted to get big money, maybe we see money, we need to get a lot of audits but audits costs lots of money. That's
And take a lot of time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the audit space is still so small that they can charge an arm and a leg, and they're booked out like 2 or 3 months in advance. So hopefully, over the next couple of years, there's more competition in the space because basically every project I talk to it has runs into the same issues, whether it's financial or whether it's just time. It takes 3 or 4 months sometimes to get that audit.
We
Yeah.
were thinking even about opening our own audit company, like just.
I think everybody just thought about it, right?
Yeah, because we could also, take a look at your code and say that that's cool and charge you money from you. Like,
It's not a bad idea, honestly. It really wouldn't be a bad idea. Where can my audience go to learn more about the Cometa platform and just about everything we've spoke about today?
Please try it for sure. Please share feedback because it's very important to us. And also, that's I would say, what I ask everybody who see us, right? If you need liquidity, if you have a token, also please write us because we really need to know how you solve this problem right now. What do you have any problem, right? And how we can help you, because we have a lot of ideas, right? We just get a theory, but we want to make it real. We want to help real people with liquidity. We are open to discussion. If you are not only from Algorand and also from Algorand, please contact us and share your pain or.
Yeah, we really realized that a user development, talking to potential projects and tokens and really understanding what they need is the key to success, to understand what mechanisms should be under the hood, so everybody would be. I think we have a really good chance to blow.
And also, I would like to mention one underappreciated feature which we also have, which is a bit separate from yield farming, but it's
please do.
We call it best swap. So this is an interface when you can swap tokens, and it uses TinyMan, but the catch is that it implements routing, which basically we notice that in many cases, swaps from pairs without algo, for example, you can try, for example, Meta USDC, I think.
Yeah, so instead of Algorand, just choose USDC, so you would see the routing
around this. Yeah, this one is.
It would go from goSol to algo to Meta.
Yeah. And in many cases, when you swap something which is not algo, so you have two aces, usually it's a better rate than in TinyMan, and it's much less actions. And I'm sure that TinyMan folks will also implement this at some point in V2. But right now, I don't think. I'm not sure if any DEX has it, but maybe somebody does, but not TinyMan at this moment. So yeah, we have a really convenient thing.
Now,
also
if the swap is using TinyMan, is the liquidity itself also going to TinyMan DEX?
Yeah.
You can see it here. Actually, I can actually see it. TinyMan. Okay, that answers that. Because this one's packed, so there's a little bit of both actually.
Yeah, but
it can be whatever you want.
Okay. All right. So is there anything else that we haven't brought up for discussion today that you want to make sure that everyone knows about?
Sure.
I mean, it's just I have a small project. I want to write a Discord bot which would notify you in the Discord when you need to compound your rewards on our platform. Because of Algorand limitations, we couldn't do really auto compounding, so we only could do compounding, and we use our best swap under the hood to exchange tokens and to reinvest it back to the farm. But like to do it, you still need to go and to push the button. That's why I want to implement the bot, which will notify you like every time you need to get the best trade. So, and I think it will be in the first place for our holders, like a special feature for MetaPunks holders, but maybe then we will share it for everybody, because in my dream, it's like you would in this bot just to click the button and it's auto compounded. For example, if you could sign transactions through this bot like securely, then it would be nice. So Telegram bot.
We actually have somebody asking in the live chat, which I'm not sure of how this would work, but can you do it on Telegram also, the bot that you're speaking of, or is this strictly just Discord?
Oh no, actually we could do Telegram as well. Like I have expertise in writing small bots, like of different limitations and like tasks.
Messages.
So yeah, I mean, we could do it. We could actually, I think, maybe ask community yet what they would like to see first, like bot for Discord or for Telegram.
I bet the vote would be for Discord first, but it does seem like there would be some appreciation for Telegram. But I had to bet on the outcome of a poll. I feel like it would end up being Discord.
And also Telegram now have the opportunity to integrate website inside Telegram. So you can
actually, yes.
You can just farm inside Telegram and not go to the browser. We have to reach out about the security, right? How to work with sign transaction stuff. But in future, probably, the Telegram
like really huge
up with everything.
That's really interesting.
As I understand, you could actually insert like any HTML file like to the Telegram. So we could just show our buttons, for example, inside of Telegram. You just push compound and it's done. We think it could be an interesting feature because we are, we want to make the best user experience out there.
Of course. Well, if anyone in the audience wants to go and learn more about the Cometa project, you can follow them at Cometa Hub on Twitter. That's cometa.algo for the name. Or you could go over to cometa.farm and find their main page. You can click over here for the testnet and try it out. You certainly should go try it out. I'm going to try it out after this. And this has been absolutely fantastic. Is there anything else you want to let my audience know before we depart today?
We also have a small present inside the Cometa, like animation, very funny stuff. So please try, and you'll find something nice inside.
Who doesn't like a little present?
A little present from front-end developers.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I appreciate you all coming on the show. I appreciate taking the time out of your day. I know for some of you it's midnight where you are, and some others it's kind of late. But I appreciate you taking the time to speak to me and my audience today.
Thank you very much for inviting us. We're really happy to share our lunch.
Happy to be here.
Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you.
No problem at all. Anytime. If you have any big updates coming up in the future, just message me, email me, and we'll make it happen.
You'll see us soon. We will talk to you soon because we develop pretty rapidly, in my opinion. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, it was great speaking with all of you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night. Until next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you guys.
Take care. All right, that was my conversation with the folks over at Cometa. It was a wonderful conversation. Cometa looks very interesting. I'm going to try it out after this conversation. If you like the conversation, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit me up down in the comments below to let me know what you thought about this discussion. And with all that out of the way, we will catch you in the next episode.